All right. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yay. So GI Yoga is sponsored by OSAT America, which is Operation Support Our Troops. And the VFW here has a collection box, but I've put their website in the notes on this video so other people can see it as well. And they can donate to them in other ways online. But they're looking for some things to pack into the boxes they send to troops and service members all over the world. Peanut butter, chewing gum, the little pouches of tuna and chicken, and then energy bars, Pop-Tarts, granola bars, jerky, drinks, soup or fruit, and then care items like sunscreen, pain relief. Eye drops are a huge thing. Dental floss, cough drops, batteries, and then this whole list is on their website, and I'll put this on our weekly GI Yoga This Week newsletter. Or email. All right, thank you. All right, so let's get started. Let's stand up. And we're going to do shoulders to tailbone today. That's what we're going to work on. So things we want to look at is axial extension. So lengthening the whole spine. And then shoulder rotation. And the sacrum. So that's where the spine comes into the hip joints, or not the hip joints, into the pelvis. All right, that's a lot to cover, so let's get started. All right, let's start with our palm tree pose. So feet hip width distance apart. And you can go just the arms, just the feet, both, or one at a time. So however your balance is working for you today. So I'm going to go inhale, arms up, and then up on the toes, and down, exhale, arms down. Inhale, up on the toes, exhale, bring it down. If you want to do that in one fluid motion, you can do that. Finding a spot for your gaze that nobody else is moving might be helpful. And if you get a little wobbly like that, just drop one of the elements. Don't drop breathing though. I want to keep breathing. Excellent. All right. Let's do one or two more. Beautiful. All right. So next, we're going to get the feet a little bit wider. And we're going to do some forward folds. So one of the other classes I'm doing, and it's just online at this point in time, is for osteoporosis, osteopenia. If that's a concern for you, you want to keep the spine straight. If that's not an issue, then you're fine to do it however you want. So we'll do a couple rounds each way, and I'll start with the straight spine. So we're going to inhale, and we're going to lift, and we're going to look up a little bit. So we kind of add a back bend at the beginning. And then on the exhale, we're going to fold from the hip crease and go just as far as is comfortable. We haven't done much maybe this morning. You can have your hands on the front of the legs. Inhale, come back up about halfway or so. And then exhale, fold forward further, hard to say. And then to come back up, we're going to bend the knees, bring the arms out to the side, pushing with the feet. Inhale, come all the way up. And then exhale, hands to heart. So you can keep your hands on your hips to remind you where to fold, or you can inhale the arms up and then exhale, forward fold. We're going to inhale, halfway lift, And this time, see if you can extend the crown of the head forward and the tailbone back. Exhale, bend the knees, forward fold. And then bend the knees nice and deep, arms out to the side. Inhale. Come all the way up, palms together. Exhale, hands start. All right, another way to do this, inhale, arms come straight up. Exhale, hinge at the hips. Keep the arms by the ears. Come down as far as is comfortable. Inhale, halfway lift, arms up by the ears again. And then exhale all the way back down. Bend the knees nice and deep, bring the arms by the ears all the way up. And then exhale, hands start. All right, so you can do it either of those ways or just arms by the hips. Inhale again. And then exhale, fold at that hip crease. You can even put your hands there. As far down as is comfortable. Inhale, halfway lift. The hands can come to the front of the legs. Take a moment here to extend the spine. Exhale, fold forward. Bend the knees. Arms out to the side or at those hip creases. You can even put your hands on your legs to push back up. Bring the arms all the way up. Exhale, and start. Excellent. All right. Let's do a little pelvic tilt here. We're going to find our mountain pose. And take a moment with the feet here. So lifting the toes up. And then set them down nice and wide. If you want, you can come up on the toes and then set the heel down. Maybe roll to the outside edge of the feet and then the inside edge of the feet. Kind of activating all those little tendons and ligaments in there. All right, and then this is something that's maybe hard to picture, but I can show you. So we want to do the tops of the thighs back and the tops of the shins forward. So I can show you what not to do. So if you do the shins back, I don't know if you could see what I just did with my knees. That's shins back. We don't want to do that because what happens is if the shin comes back, the front of the femur comes forward and it's less stable. And that's what hyperextending is. Or if your thigh bone is in front of your shin. So we want the tops of the thighs back, shins come forward. And I can show you that after class, because I don't have all the blocks and stuff to do that. All right. So that's something to think about. So we don't want to tilt forward. We want the tops of the thighs, shins forward. So that's something to think about. What were we doing? Pelvic tilts. So here's what we want to do. Back and forth. We want to find a neutral spot. So if we're used to tilting back, tailbone out, it's going to feel more of a struggle to get that neutral. Or if we tilt forward, I mean, I can feel this in my upper back when I'm tilting forward. So it's going to, and this I can feel in the front of the spine. So we want to find that neutral pelvis. And then if you can, pulling the front of the hip points towards each other. So we're tightening that lower girdle of the belly. So keeping, instead of dumping forward or collapsing in. And then, let's see, shoulders. So I want to pay attention to our shoulders today. Two places to pay attention. So we're going to pull or move the collarbones away from each other, and then the sternum goes down. So we've got an opening like this, and like Chitler tells us, shining that heart light. So this time it's up, you know, when we're in other positions. All right. And then the other place to look at is shoulder blade points towards each other. and then in towards the heart. So if you can find both or one of those, that can be helpful. And then the last one we're going to do, so the back of the neck here, that mother cat kind of pulling the kitten up, but we're going to go back towards the back wall and then crown of the head up. That's a lot of points, right?
Yeah.
So if you pick two or just one, and then each time you do something, we're going to get that extension in the spine is one of them. And where the pelvis is matters too. So there's a lot of muscles going on that we're activating here. All right, next, let's do standing cat and cow. All right, feet can be hip width distance apart or wider. And we're going to start with the back bend first. So we're going to take a nice inhale, and we're going to just look up towards the ceiling. You can bring your hands to your lower back, or they can just be by your side, palms face forward. Maybe pull your shoulder blades together. Notice that one. And then on the exhale, we're going to reverse this, bend the knees, palms of the hands come to the front of the thighs, and we're going to tuck the chin. So we're making space in the back of the neck. We're rounding that upper back, flattening the lower back, and then I'm going to reverse all these curves. So we're going to inhale, looking up, lifting. So we've got that lower curve came back. We've got the reverse on the upper back, and the neck is reversed. So go ahead and go back and forth. See if you can feel the curves of the spine moving back and forth. So we have the three main curves, the neck, the upper back, and the lower back.
Are we still trying to bend from the hips?
Yeah, bend your knees. You can, at that hip crease, because we don't want to bend at the waist, because that's going to put pressure on the discs in between the vertebrae. So if we keep that, the spine, the extension and the flexion at the hip joint, we're not smushing anything. All right, and then come back to neutral. See about extending from the crown of the head, rooting the feet down. Feel that extension. See if things feel a little bit more open. Hopefully at least a little bit more warmed up. All right, feet a little bit wider. We're going to do our laterals. So this time we want to engage the lower rib cage. So maybe find that last rib, bony part.
There's a bony part there someplace.
It's in there. Got to poke hard. And then in
Somewhere
between,
underneath there.
in between each bone is a little bit of muscle that if we don't move it, it gets tight and then we can't move it. So what we're doing here is we're opening and relaxing and then opening and relaxing. So we're going to use the arms because gravity is amazing. We got to fight against it all the time, but sometimes we can use it to our benefit. So inhale one side up, and we're just going to go vertical and see if you can feel the length from the fingertips to the toes. And notice where you're feeling it. It doesn't matter where, but just notice. Exhale, bring it back, and then other side. Inhale. Nice length on that side. So I feel it slightly different places on one side versus the other. So we have habits. You know, if you drive a certain way, or maybe when you wash the dishes, if you don't wash the dishes, I don't know, you kind of lean into one side or whatever, you know, I mean, or you lean forward into the sink when you're doing it. What other kind of things? if you bend over to reach and do something. All right, so let's go all the way over now, but go really slow. So that's an inhale, and you can put your other hand on the hip to kind of keep you from going too far. And check back in with the feet. Don't forget the feet. And just moving nice and slow. So we've got this nice line from the fingertips to the toes. And now we're going to add an extra breath. So we're going to inhale, one arm up and over, and then we're going to breathe into that rib cage. And then exhale, bring it back. Other side, if you want, you can even put that hand on that rib cage. And then do that one more time to each side, maybe 2 breaths or 3 breaths. And then bring it back. All right. Almost everybody has a chair. I'm gonna grab a chair and we're gonna do a little chair down dog. So go ahead and bring your chair onto your mat. And you can do this onto the floor if you want, but sometimes having a tool lets you get deeper into the pose than if you go all the way down and you're struggling like that. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna step back pretty far from the chair, and we're just gonna bring our hands on the sides of the seat. And you might have to step back further to get the angle that you want. So we wanna see if we can bring the head maybe below the seat of the chair. And that's gonna depend on how tall you are. But we wanna try the ears in between the biceps and the top of the head pointing towards the floor. So my feet are really wide here, and they're pretty far back. So if this is too far back, step in closer, or if it feels more comfortable to have your feet in closer, that's fine too. The important thing we're looking at is the spine. So if the legs don't feel great, bend the knees. We're not going to worry about the legs right now. So we want to bring the head in between the arms. We're going to kind of put the crown of the head pointing down. It's not going to go straight down. And then we're going to push back into the hips. You bend the knees, you can adjust the feet. What we're looking at is extension in the spine. We don't have to worry about anything else at this point. Adjust if you have any thing that's super uncomfortable. If it's a little uncomfortable, breathe into it. If it's super uncomfortable, come on out. So if you're not feeling much in this with the chair, and you want to come down to blocks, if you have them, you can do that. Or come down to the floor if that's reachable for you. And if you move into one of those other positions, you might notice a different area that you're feeling this in. So right now I moved down to the floor, and now I can feel this in my tailbone. So back up on the chair. And I just moved my feet in closer, and it moved up to my lower back. So move your feet around. If this is too much blood on the brain, you can come up and take a breath or so. I just want you to see if you can move the position of the pose and feel this in a different place. You come up on the toes, bend the knees, and see where it moves from there. And then we're going to come up with an inhale. Bend the knees nice and deep if you want to bring the arms up. And back down. So there's another way to do that, to do it without gravity, which feels really good, but have somebody help you with it maybe. I'll show you that after class. I don't want somebody doing it online and you're like, I hurt myself. What did you do? So remind me after class and I'll show you the down dog with the doorknob. That might feel really good. You have some stuff in there. I'll show you. All right, what are we doing next? Let's do some warriors. So we'll start with our warrior one. So pick a foot, put it in front. Back foot's out at an angle. And so we have a little bit of a pelvic turn here. So we're kind of aiming towards the front corner of the mat, off to the side. There's a school of yoga who want you to turn and face the top, and that's fine for that style. We want to kind of stay a little bit more natural. And the pelvis is going to face the same direction as that back foot. So if you have it out here a little bit more, you might turn that. We don't want to, because there's torquing when we go too far that way, especially if you're not used to going that far. All right, so let's warm up this knee first. Lift the toes up and then put them back down. And then we want to engage the muscles of the top of the thigh. So there's 4 muscles across here, so there's probably 2 that you're engaging when you do this, and actually pulling the kneecap up is what we're doing by engaging that muscle. So we're going to inhale straight leg, pull the kneecap up, and then exhale, release, and then the knee goes forward. Inhale, straighten the leg, pull the kneecap up, exhale forward. So by strengthening the muscles on either side of the joint, we take the effort out of the joint and protect it better. Beautiful. All right, let's switch sides, push off, step back. All right, inhale, straight leg, exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten it and engage that kneecap, pull it up towards the hip. Excellent. All right, push up, step back. And all right, so I've been walking around lately noticing everybody has tech neck. Not you guys. You guys are all in alignment. Right. So what I mean by that is forward head posture and maybe chin drop a little bit. And then we're rounding and we're just collapsing into our front body.
That's right.
But I absolutely 100%, but also sleeping, like if you sleep on your side curled up, that's contributing to it. And I noticed that I've been doing that in my sleep, and I wake myself up and readjust my head. So Not that I'm encouraging you to wake up in the middle of the night, but, noticing when you're doing stuff. Another big thing is the bucket seats in our cars. If you drive a lot, the seats are comfortable, but they bring your shoulders forward a little bit. So I don't have an answer to that one, but when you get out of the car, do some. So we're going to do this one with the Warrior One. All right, back to the first foot. Back foot is out at an angle. We're going to bring both arms out in front. On the inhale, we're going to bend that front knee, arms come out. Exhale, bring them back. So this next time, see if you can activate those back muscles. The trapezius goes from the neck all the way down to mid-back. And that's the one when I cook too much or make Christmas cookies, that's the one that starts to spasm. Because rolling and cutting and bending over. And so when we have that as an issue, we need to strengthen those muscles, not stretch them out because they're already overstretched. And then when that happens, then we tend to overuse the shoulders or something else when something's overstretched. Awesome. All right, back to the front. Drop the arms, step the feet back together, shake the legs out. And let's do the other side. So arms out in front. We're going to inhale, open. Activate that back. Exhale back. And two more. Excellent. And drop. So when we have that forward head posture, we are pinching nerves, cranial nerves that come down and can activate us into our sympathetic nervous system, which is fight or flight. So if you feel stressed and your head's like this all the time, that might be exasperating anything. So, all right, let's do Warrior Two. So one foot forward, other foot closer to 90 degrees. We're going to bend this front knee over that front ankle. And before we do anything with any other part of the body, check in with the feet. Nice and rooted, grounded. You can activate the arches of the feet. And then relax them, just so you know that they're there. That's good. All right. So this time, again, where the hips are, or the pelvis is pointing the same direction as that back foot. So if your foot is in a little bit more, your torso is going to change direction a little bit. And then the other thing we want to check in with is that pelvic tilt. Are we tilting too far back or too far forward? That can affect our balance in this case. All right, hands at the heart, arms open to the side. So we want the torso vertical. You guys look good. Torso is vertical to the floor or perpendicular to the floor. Because there's a tendency to lean forward. So we don't want to lean forward. We want to have that balance until we decide to lean forward. And that's a different pose. All right, so let's go Peaceful Warrior first. Back arm comes down. Open that palm up towards the ceiling, and depending on your balance here, you can look up at that thumb. You can keep your gaze at the horizon or look down at the floor. So notice maybe it's too much to look up in the neck. So keep the gaze at the horizon. Excellent. All right, so we're going to bend that front forearm, bring it down to that front thigh. And this back hand Send it put it on the hip first because we're talking about these shoulders. So hand on the hip, and then we're gonna send that upper shoulder towards the back wall. So I don't know if you're probably trying not to fall over, so looking here might not be an option, but that's what we want to do with the torso. So we have a lateral and a twist. All right, now if you want to bring that arm up overhead, the ceiling, or arm by the ear, or you can leave it at the hip. All right, so we're going to use that arm pulling back up. And then let's go to Peaceful Warrior again. And that front knee, arm up towards the ceiling, or you can even go further back if you have your balance. But it's not required. And then forward again, side angle pose, whichever way you want. If you can reach down to the floor. The reason I usually don't is because then we collapse into that side body. If we stay up higher, we're keeping this long. All right, one more time through, Peaceful Warrior. And then last, side angle pose. Beautiful. Grab that invisible rope, coming back up. Drop the hands and step the feet together. Shake the legs out. All right, going to the other side. Check in with the feet if they're not where you like them. Spread them out, bring them in closer. Knee over the ankle. Hands at the heart, arms open to the side. Extend out with the fingers. Maybe check in with the shoulder blades. See that we're not rounding already. And then we're going to go Peaceful Warrior first. Back arm comes down, palm up towards the ceiling. You can go straight up or bend back a little bit if you like, if your balance allows for it. And then when you're ready, let's come into side angle pose. Bend that front forearm. Other arm can stay on the hip. Send that shoulder back first, and then bring the arm up if you want to. Or overhead, fingertips to toe stretch. Whatever feels right for you today. And then we're going to windmill around to Peaceful Warrior. These can be floor, horizon, or up at the upper thumb. And then back to side angle pose. And one more time through Peaceful Warrior. And last side angle pose. Beautiful. Back to Warrior 2. And then we'll drop the arms, step the feet together, and shake out the legs. All right, we're going to do a wide-legged forward fold. So I didn't get the blocks out. If you want to, and I think I might do it with a chair a couple times first, grab your chair in front. You don't have to, you can do this, you can go all the way to the floor if you can reach it. That's totally fine. But like I said, sometimes it's better to have the tool to get deeper into the pose and activate what we want to do instead of that ego, I can touch the floor. Yeah, okay. So feet are wide, at least as wide as your mat. You can also turn sideways on your mat if you want to go deeper. Just be careful if you have socks on that you're not going to slide. So you can start here. I have cross mats, so I can go wider without going sideways. All right, so That hinge at the hip, we're gonna, the hip joint, we're gonna go here. You can put your hands here for the first part of it. And we're gonna do this a couple times. So the first couple of times do not have to go that deep. We're gonna do it a couple times with the feet parallel, and then we're gonna do a tailbone opener, because I have a sore tailbone. So there you go. You get to enjoy what I need to work on. All right. So hinge at the hips, hip joint coming forward, and bring your hands to the chair. And then what I want you to do, because we're not going all the way down, we're going to extend. So the back tailbone goes back towards the back wall. Front of the head goes forward. You can bend the knees as much or as little as you want. And then to come up, bend the knees. You can bring the hands to the thighs, push up. And then we're just going to go again. So exhale, coming down. Extend both directions. See if you can feel the space you're making. Hands can come to the thighs. Inhale, come back up. We'll do it one more time like that, and then we'll add a little trick. Exhale, fold forward. We're going to extend. And then bend the knees, come back up. All right, if your feet need a break, bring them in together, shake them out. Otherwise, we're going to go and do my neat little trick I just learned not that long ago. So there's duck feet and pigeon toe. We're going to go pigeon toe if you can. If your ankles don't allow it, then just stay where they're comfortable. So I'm going to turn my toes in towards the center line and bring my feet in a little bit closer, because I could feel that in my knees too much. All right, so we're going to do the same thing again. If you are going all the way to the floor, go for it. If you want to keep your chair, that's fine. I'm going to come down further this time. So hinge at the hip, exhale, come down. And keep the knees bent, and then straighten the legs, or go towards straighter. If you have blocks and you want to walk them out, you can do that. Or if you're on the chair, you can walk further forward with the chair. And let's take one more breath here, and then we'll work our way back up. So you're going to bring the hands in closer if you went out. Bend the knees, hands can come to the hips. Push in with the feet. And come back up. Then you can heel toe the feet back together. And shake out the legs, the feet, the knees. Up on one foot, circles with the other foot. All right. So let's do some balance. So if you like your chair for balance, go ahead and keep it handy. Just put that there. All right, so let's find our mountain pose first, and then we'll do some balance. So back to the feet. Notice what the feet are doing. You can lift the toes up again. Set them back down. And then thighs back, shins forward. There's two more that go with that. Thighs out, shins in, but we'll do that with yoga therapy if anybody has knee issues. You can do that. Or hip issues. That can affect that too. All right, so hip points towards each other, shoulder blades on the back, collarbones open on the front, back of the neck towards the back wall, top of the head towards the sky. So we don't want to drop the chin and we don't want to lift the chin. It's a millimeter drop. So not up, not down, just straight ahead, but not forward. Check back in with the feet, crown of the head, and release. All right, you want to shake it out? And let's do some balance here. We'll start with our tree pose, our quintessential yoga pose. Pick a foot. You need the chair. It's there. Start with tripod, toes on the floor, heel above the ankle of the opposite foot. Before you go anywhere, check in with that straight leg hip. You can engage all the muscles all the way around that leg so that we've got that straight up support so we're not dumping out to the side. Hands on the hips, hands on the heart, or your branches, whatever works. If you want to work on that rounding the spine, cactus arms or Y arms are beautiful for that. If you want to move up from tripod pose, you can come up higher, but you don't have to. You're still getting all the same benefits without falling over. It's a bonus. And then we're going to breathe. Hopefully we were breathing before, but we want to make sure we're breathing. And then coming out nice and graceful. All right, shake the legs out. Shake the arms out. Do a little dance. All right, other side. Root that other foot in. Start with your tripod pose. Heel above the ankle, toes into the floor. Find a spot on the floor or on the wall straight ahead. Hands at the hips, heart. Grow your branches wherever the arms, you could go straight out, go straight up. I'm kind of feeling the Y today. And just breathe. Be the tree you want to be. And then when you're ready, coming out nice and graceful. Excellent. Shake it out. All right, let's hit our moving balance. So we did our palm tree pose at the beginning of class. Let's go ahead and do it again and see where we're at. So when we first start class, we're usually a little stiff. So hopefully we've opened some stuff up and relaxed some muscles. All right, so here we go. So however you want to do it, both at the same time or one at a time or one leg. Finding a spot where nothing else is moving sometimes can help. The other thing you can do is come up and stay up for a breath. And know that if you're a little wobbly, it's okay, you can keep going. Or change it up, just do the arms, feet, down, down. So try and go slow. Excellent. All right, let's go over to our Karate Kid, flying crane. And let's just do it regular. So we're going to inhale the arms up, bring one knee up, exhale down, and then other side. Very nice. And finish off evenly, or do one more time each side. Beautiful. All right, so let's do, let's see what order we want to do this in. We're going to do high lunge, and then chair pose, and then pyramid. All right, 3 more to go here. All right, so what did I say first? High lunge. All right. Too many things to remember. All right, so here's what we're going to do. You can either step 1 foot forward or step 1 foot back. So if you're going to step it back, that's more of a challenge. If you have more of a balance issue, you want to step forward. All right, so I'm going to try and step back. So lift one leg up and then step it back. And we're going to try and stay up on the toes of the back foot. If that's not possible, bring the foot in closer and bring the foot down, heel in towards the center line a little bit. All right, so then we're going to inhale and lift the arms up. And if you want to add one more difficulty to this, you can bend that back knee and bring it down towards the floor. Inhale, bring it back up. Exhale down. One more time. Beautiful. And then we'll step forward, drop the arms. All right. Other side. Give it a shot. Lift that leg up. Step that foot back. Didn't land where you'd like? Adjust. All right. Inhale the arms up. And we're going to try it on this side. We'll see. Bend that back knee. Inhale, bring it up. Exhale down. Inhale up. And one more time. Beautiful. And step it forward. Phew. All right. Chair pose is next. All right. So feet can be hip width distance apart, wider, or closer in if you want to make more work. All right. So we're going to inhale, lift the arms up, and then exhale, sit into your pretend chair. And because we're talking about shoulders a little bit today, bring the elbows back and engage the upper back. That's more work. Take a couple breaths here. You have the option of inhale, come up a little bit, exhale, come a little deeper, or just stay where you are if you are where you want to be. And then to come out, we're going to exhale, fold forward. Inhale, bring it back up. And hands back to it. Beautiful. All right, pyramid pose. So for pyramid pose, the idea, and we're all in different bodies, so it's not set in stone, even though the Egyptians might be. All right. Front knee stays straight. You can always bend it. And then the feet are, in theory, either side of an invisible line. That may not work for you. You can bring your feet out wider this way, or closer in. So find a spot that works for you. We're going to step 1 foot forward. And then there's a host of different options, but I'm going to give you 3 so as not to get to be too many. Hands can stay on the hips, hands in front of the heart, or reverse prayer pose, which is hands together behind your back. All right. So we're just going to do a forward fold. You only have to go as far as is comfortable. Fourth option is hands come all the way down to the floor, but I'm not going to do that one today. I'm just going to do a simple one. So pick your spot for your hands. Inhale, looking up. Exhale, hinge at those hip joints, and just go as far as is comfortable. You can bend that front knee as much or as little as you need. And then when you're ready to come up, inhale, push the feet in, and lift. Beautiful. Bring your feet together. switch feet. You can switch your arms to a different version if you want. Inhale, lifting up, exhale, hinge at those hip joints, forward fold. Bend or keep the legs straight. And when you're ready to come up, push in with the feet. Inhale, all the way back up. And step the feet together. Shake it out. All right, so we're going to come down to hands and knees. And I'm going to do one sacrum opening on our hands and knees. And I'm going to show you while I'm standing up because you're not going to be able to see me when I'm on my hands and knees. So what I'm doing is I've got this knee on the floor. And I'm going to take this knee up off the floor and cross over the other leg. And then do the other side. So one shin is going to stay on the floor. Yep, you got it. All right. So hands and knees. And we're going to start with cat and cow first, though. So we're going to get symmetrical first. So exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cat. All right, back to neutral. And then we're going to take, you can pick whichever side you want. If you have one side that you know is more out of alignment than the other, you may not know, that's okay. You can do that side more than the other, but then we'll come back to symmetrical again. So we're going to lift one leg up, just a couple of inches off the ground, just enough to cross over. And then we're going to cross that knee over the other calf. You can keep that foot and knee bent. And then bring it back, and then we'll go to the other side. So lift the knee up a couple inches, cross over, and it doesn't have to even touch the other floor. It can stay up, and then come back. And if that feels horrendous, don't do it again, but if it feels good, go ahead and go again. And again, if that feels like enough, stop there. Otherwise, I'm going to go one more time. Beautiful. And then come back to center. We're going to go cat, cow, child's pose. So inhale, cow. Exhale, cat, down to child's pose. If you want to skip the cat, you can do that. Inhale, come back up to cow. Exhale, cat to child's or just child's, or stay up in puppy, that's fine too. Inhale, cow. Exhale, all the way down. Do that one or two more times. And then we're going to come into locust pose. So we're going to come down onto the belly, and we'll just do one on the belly. So there's a whole bunch of versions of locust pose. We're just going to lift the legs, and we're going to do one at a time. And then if you feel up for it, then you can do both. But start with one at a time. So you're going to come all the way down. You can rest your forehead on your hands, alligator pose. So, and we're going to have the legs not wider than hip width. We want to keep them in closer together. And we're just going to go one at a time and just lift just as much as is comfortable. So don't overdo it because we just opened that up. So we don't want to scrunch. If you feel like you want to do both legs, my recommendation is that you bring your arms down by your side. Keep the forehead down. And then lift both legs. If you want, you are not required to. And then we're going to come up to child's pose and then come and sit and then lay down on our back. Or you can just caterpillar roll over onto your back if you don't want to come up and sit and then come back down. All right, so we're going to make our way onto the spine. Hands on the knees, battery pack, and roll down. First thing is knees into the chest. If you want, you can lift the forehead towards the knees, curl up into a nice tight ball, and then roll back down. And then a couple of apanasanas. And then if you want, if this is comfortable, you can do this. If it's not, just stay where you are and do some more apanasanas. Happy baby, or sometimes I call it dead bug, which cracks me up. All right, so you can grab onto the shins, feet face the ceiling, or maybe grab the ankles or the sides of the feet, or 2 fingers around the big toes. So the elbows aim towards the armpits, and then rock side to side. So it's kind of like giving the spine a massage. And then release, hug the knees in, couple of apanasanas, come back to symmetrical. And bring the feet down to the mat, and let's do 3 bridge poses. Your choice. I'm going to do robot arms and just lift the hips. You can do that, or lift the arms, whatever you like. But before you go anywhere, let's tuck the shoulder blades together. Robot arms is upper arm on the floor, elbows bent, fingers pointed towards the ceiling. We're going to bring the heels in as close to the buttocks as comfortable. Knees, hips, and feet are lined up. On the inhale, we're pushing in with the feet, lift the hips up towards the ceiling. Exhale, bring them back down. Nice and slow. Again, inhale, lift. Exhale, release. And one more time, inhale. And exhale. Excellent. All right. Knees come in. Just a couple here. Apanasana. Reverse that back bend. And then release the legs all the way straight out. Let's toes point up towards the ceiling. Zip the legs together. We're going to inhale the arms up. And if you want, you can actually bring them out to the side. Let's do that instead. Hands to the heart, and then inhale, open the arms out to the side. Exhale, bring the hands back to the heart. Inhale, open. Exhale. And one more time, inhale. And exhale. Release the legs and feet away from each other. Arms down by your side and away from your torso. Check in with those shoulder blades again. Maybe tuck them back if that's comfortable. You could bring a blanket or towel under your head, and you can roll up the bottom of it so it supports the neck. which feels nice. If you have a chair handy, you can bring your legs up on the chair. That feels nice. Or the one I'm going to do today is bring your feet into the mat, but as wide as the mat, and then drop the knees towards each other. That opens up that lower back, which feels nice. Or you can just lay in your regular, everyday happy relaxation pose and be comfortable however you're comfortable. So getting any last little wiggles out. And let's relax the joints today. So we're going to start at the top of the head and work our way down. So relax the crown of the head. There's a bunch of muscles up there, so we're going to imagine them relaxing. Relax the forehead and the face. Relax that jaw joint. That is one of the most powerful areas of the body, ounce for ounce. We're going to relax the whole spine, even though it isn't technically a joint, but there's parts that move there. From the top of the neck all the way down to the tailbone. Relax the shoulders, let them be heavy and just sink into the earth. Relax the elbows. Relax the wrists. Relax all the fingers. Relax the hip joints. Relax the knees. Relax the ankles and all those toes and tarsals, metatarsals in the feet. Let the earth's gravity hold you. And let the air around you breathe in. Take the next few moments and just be. Gently coming back into awareness. Wiggle your toes. Wiggle your fingers. If you'd like, you can roll your head side to side. When you're ready, and with an inhale, we're going to roll over onto your right or left side. You can use that underarm as a pillow. Take a breath or so here. And then when you're ready, pushing up to a comfortable seated position. And let's end with a breath of joy. All right. So that looks like this. Hands on the heart. We're going to inhale, hands come down, arms come up, fingertips touch. And then exhale, arms all the way back around, hands to heart. 3 times. Ready? Here we go. And you can switch which hand touches the heart each time. Ready? Here we go. Inhale. All the way up and around, fingertips touch. Exhale, hands all the way back around, hands to heart. Again, inhale. Fingertips touch. Exhale, arms back around, hands to heart. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. Hands come together, palms together, hands in front of the heart, and namaste.
Thanks, Kate.
All right, thanks guys, and support OSAT if you can. There's lots going on in the world today, so we need to support our troops. Thanks, guys.